I guess we're doing the thing, man. We're gonna do the thing. We're gonna play the video games, man. I got a SD card. Uh, yeah. I got a new oh well, I guess whatever. I finally got it. Oh, look at this. This almost makes you want to play Fortnite again. I'm gonna end up installing this game one of these days. I got a micro SD Express or whatever, the one that's compatible with the Switch 2 finally. I've been thinking about doing it since launch, but since I got like say like these here and some other games, like man, I can't even install this stuff. Just because of, you got like 256 gigs on the Switch 2 itself, which isn't a lot. Actually, looking for pinball effects right here. I heard something about this. I think I was buying the tables on the PC. I don't really remember. Hopefully, I was getting them on here. Let's see. Let's go here. I don't remember what I was doing. I know I was getting the tables somewhere. See, this is, I heard this came out, but that made me think, I was like, did I get these tables? It must have been on PC. I think it was on PC. I think it was on Switch or Steam Deck. Because, see, maybe. So, see, the thing with Pinball FX is that they put tables on sale constantly. So there's always something on sale. But you have to catch it because like right now, say I could spend full price and get this right here, and then like after this right here ends, it might rotate where it'll be like this one, it'll be like Snoopy Pinball, and like something else will randomly go on sale. So I think I'm gonna pick these up. If this is this compatible with this? Weird. Like these right here, this was a. I thought that was on Pinball M. Um, what the fudge? Oh, the table is $10? Are you crazy? Man, wild. I know one of those tables was better than the other one, but I don't remember which one it was. Um, well, whatever. I'll let this thing install first, and I'll try to remember to come back over here. Like, if these right here, the ones that are like the mature tables are available in this, I would like to have them here instead of having to have Pinball M installed too, in the Adams family. Man, it's weird. See, I think the reason I didn't get him on Switch is because it doesn't have the same. It seems like it has a lot of the tables, but it felt like it didn't have all the ones that were available on PC. But it looks like it might now. Like all these Williams pinball tables, these are the collections that are super cool if you're into actual pinball. Um, it's weird how they split off like this. Bride of Pinbot, Rollin is its own separate table. Sword of Fury. We'll see. We'll look into it anyway. In the meantime, as you can see, a bunch of stuff is downloading. Here we go. So, fun story about this. This is out as of today. I pre-ordered it because it was like $5 cheaper. I figured I was gonna end up playing it anyway. Again, I'm not the biggest Mortal Kombat fan. I do like old Mortal Kombat. I liked 9, 10 was alright, but anything like 11 and 1, not so much. Um, I have a soft spot for old Mortal Kombat because I grew up with those games when they were coming out. They used to creep me out just because the atmosphere, especially in like Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, they felt really dirty. I remember being kind of annoyed with 3 because you have all these crazy environments and like especially Mortal Kombat 2, and you go play 3 and it's like you're in a bank or you're in a subway or whatever, and not nearly as cool. But this is from Digital Eclipse. They did like Atari 50, the Jeff Minter collection, the Karateka. Um, I think they had another one too. I guess not. Maybe that's it. But Atari 50 is like straight up love that game. To this day, I think the game is awesome. I think the games they have on there, it's a really cool choice. The way they present them is also really neat. Now, what I wish they did with this, as you can see, this is the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. It would have been really cool, but impossible, I believe, if they had access to the Midway catalog instead of just Mortal Kombat. And like they could put like, maybe of course all the Mortal Kombat games, like maybe it's a Mortal Kombat collection, but if they had like Narc and like Pit Fighter or something like that on here to explain like how they got to this point. So you got Play, which is the games. There were people on the Steam forum saying this game is going to be dead on arrival, which is, I think they're missing the point. See, the thing is that I think MK4 is bad. Fun story. I don't think I knew you back then. Dude, I got in the biggest fight with Michael Chan because he insisted we were playing. And, it was whatever. Everything was fine. And then he found out he could, like, grab. And I don't know if there was a grab break. But all he did was he would go up to me and he would just grab. Over and over and over and over and over. And I lost it. I think I broke a controller. It, like, went off on that dude. Oh, man. So you got Play, which has all the games. You got Online, Quick Match, which I think is just like local stuff or whatever. This is probably online too. Yeah, here we go. I guess you choose the game. This is always a mistake. The best way to probably do it is to limit it and be like, hey, we're only going to have like these versions of the games. When you have every game, like say if I want to play Super Nintendo Mortal Kombat and nobody's playing this, whatever. So that means that, instead of having like, instead of you hopping online, like if you play like Street Fighter 6 or Marvel vs. Capcom, whatever, when you hop online, everybody's searching for the game. They might be searching for ranked or unranked matches, but that's about it. When you play something like this and they split the lobbies up like this and they have like 10 different games, that means that if there's like a ton of people that are online playing for multiplayer, you don't know where they are because you can't see it. If everybody's over here playing like this right here, the WaveNet version of UMK3, I would have no way of knowing. Unless you hop in there and you just assume. But maybe people are over here trying to play like vanilla MK3 or MK Trilogy or whatever. Again, I think the online play for this game, it could work fine technically, but I don't think it's gonna be super popular. I could see a lot of people hopping online, getting angry that they can't find matches, and then stopping. But I don't think that's, like, for me, that's not why I got this collection. I got the collection because, as you can see, they split everything. So you got the game library. This is showing all the games in the collection. It's a lot of games, including some GBA games. You can switch it to the arcade games and you can see just those, which is pretty cool. You got console. This is pretty neat. Having the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo versions of Mortal Kombat 1. Good choice. For Mortal Kombat 2, this caught me off guard. So you have the Sega Genesis version, the 32X version, and you got the Super Nintendo version. This I think is, I'm sure the 32X version is better, but like the Super Nintendo one, this is around when I started noticing a difference between Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. And then MK3, by this point I had pretty much switched over to Super Nintendo. I remember playing this game and thought, it was kind of weird, whatever. And one day I was at a video store and they had this on display. And I was like, why does it look weird? This is a weird looking game. And that's the last one I think they did. I think they did UMK3 for the Sega Genesis. You got this for Super Nintendo. Trilogy. Again, these are the console games. And the thing, again, the finishing touch for me, like you got Trilogy, that's super cool. You got these games here, Mythologies, Sub-Zero, and Special Forces. Like, they included the bad games. But then they also included the portable games too. Like, you got the Game Boy version of Mortal Kombat 1, Game Gear, Game Boy MK2, GBA, for these three right here. Them being like, hey, we did include Deadly Alliance for the GBA. It's really funny. One of these is bad and one of them is okay. I think this is the bad one. It's not bad. I'm gonna turn this one on. So okay, so I was stuck in traffic, right? I work about 20 minutes from the house. I'm on the way to work this morning. I had just downloaded this. I made sure it was installed on my Switch too, so I brought the thing in the car with me. I leave for work at like 6:10, 6:15 or whatever, get there about 6:30, 6:35. About 6:20, 6:25, I'm near the job and traffic's just stopped and I'm not sure what's going on. And it doesn't move for 2.5 hours. I'm literally sitting there. So at some point, I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and open this thing up. And of all the games I could have played, the first one I loaded up, all I played on here was this. I went in here because I have a soft spot for the Game Boy version of Mortal Kombat. Everybody knows good Mortal Kombat. You know, you can play the arcade ROM on anything now, or you know, the Sega Genesis one. Everybody knows the Blood Code. The Super Nintendo game is all right, but this game is so not good. I love it. I love the fact that this game is as bad as it is. You can choose whatever games you want to. They also have the library thing. As you can see, you got this stuff here, so I can turn on an on-screen move list. I usually have this on. Well, I've only played it a couple of times. I can show it by input or the move icon, so if you want to have like the high punch, low punch icons. You got the ability to rewind if you want to. Screen options, you can change how it's proportioned. You can also change the color palette. If you don't want to use Game Boy, I like the green one. If you don't want to use Game Boy, you can actually, before you load this up, you can go into the settings here and switch it to the a Game Boy Color theme, which I think actually looks worse. So we'll go with full. You get the controls in here. There you go. That's all the buttons. These are not right. Obviously, there is no run. There is no L and R. Okay, so back out. Here we go. So the thing I like about this game is Mortal Kombat was a big deal back when it was new. Everybody wanted to play Mortal Kombat however they could, you know, playing it on the Tiger handhelds, Game Gear, Game Boy, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, whatever. People couldn't get enough of the game. So they put the game out on Game Boy. And it only has 6 characters. Now, Mortal Kombat 1 does not have a lot of characters. I believe... Who is missing? Who is missing? Johnny Cage is not here. Johnny Cage is not a great guy. Alright, so we'll pick the easy character. To me, I feel like Liu Kang is the easiest character to use in Mortal Kombat. Him... This is always fun. You got Kano, Raiden, Liu Kang, Sonya. What? You have 2 ninjas. There's no color. So I believe this is Scorpion. I believe this is Sub-Zero. It's great. Let's go with Scorpion. This is Scorpion. I was right. Scorpion versus Kang. Okay, so Spear says back Y. It's not happening. It's because there's like a huge input delay. You can see it here. Again, one of the things I really like about this is just the fact that like they tried. They couldn't figure out what to do. Nobody really knew back then. I've mentioned this before. Like nobody knew what to expect from a portable game like this. So you would have like a game like Super Mario Land where people are like, oh man, it looks bad, like visually. It's like, yeah, it looks bad, but at least it's playable compared to like this where they made the graphics look better. But the game is moving at like, I don't know, like 8 frames per second. It moves so slow that you can't do the inputs of the special moves because it's not reading them right. What? Back when this was new. Back when this was new, everybody would, you know, a kid, if they had this, is like, oh man, you got Mortal Kombat? Now you can play on the Game Boy? And like you're sitting there, you know, holding the Game Boy and you're just happy to be playing Mortal Kombat any way you can. Because it's forward down for the teleport punch, which doesn't even make any sense. Was it? The delay between pressing the move and then he sits there, he goes forward, he crouches, and then he does it. It's so good. Even this, to do the roundhouse, you have to press forward and kick, because there's only one kick button. There is no... Oh, oh, come on. Damn it, there is no high kick and low kick, it's just the one button. And it's not how long you press it, it's literally like the input for it. I don't know what I just did. Press forward and L a bunch and nothing happened. But yeah, so the fact that they have the bad games on here is the thing that made me really happy. I was like, man, if they're gonna honor those, like even the weird ports that like at the time were cool, that like after like 1993 nobody wanted to touch, even in 1993 it was still like, I don't know. But if you're a kid back then, you would have been all over it. I think it's neat. I think it's a really cool choice. But yes, the reason I bought this collection was whoops, quit game, quit. Here we go. When people are talking about like, oh, the online's gonna be dead, it's like, it's not about the online to me. It's about, you go to the combat card that shows you your stats. This is my favorite game, Mortal Kombat. It's the Game Boy one. It's not gonna say that yet. The crypts. So this to me should be the first thing. It should be the first thing on the menu. You should go to this first. Just based off of how Atari 50 was. You got the documentary, and it's split the same way Atari 50 is, where it's got the different sections and it's broken down to like years. Hang on. You can go in here to combatants. I'm going to check this stuff out before I go there. So you can see, this is all of the characters. If I click on, let's say, let's go with Shang Tsung. So I can click on him here, and it covers, I believe, maybe all, yeah, all of his appearances like as time goes on. I do wish that it showed you the endings for the characters, like directly. It doesn't seem to do that. This, I remember playing Mortal Kombat 1 and getting the Shang Tsung and being like, oh, what makes this guy so hard? And like the first time that he morphs and actually kills you, very frustrating. I always felt he was way easier than Goro was, though. Didn't really care for him being like young. I like the idea of him being like this old martial arts master or something. But you can go and you can see like who's in which game. So if I go here, it just breaks down the characters. It's not all playable characters either. As you can see, I believe this is Reptile over here. It shows you what he looks like in this game. If I go to Mortal Kombat 2, you can see the difference in the design. You can see characters disappear, like as you saw, Kano disappears here. Also, in 3, Ultimate 3, Trilogy, gone in 4. You can actually see Johnny Cage's appearance is changing too as time goes on. That's pretty cool. The fact that you can kind of like break down the characters, read about them, their history, how they like, what games they're in, what they're. I think so. I was talking to somebody at work about him the other day, where their opinion on Kai, I've heard other people say the same thing, where they thought that Kai was going to be the new main character. Clearly, that didn't work out. But this is broken into what is it? 5 chapters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully, they do some DLC. I don't know what it would be. That'd be pretty cool. So if you go in here, Mortal Kombat is more than a fighting game. It's a full-blown phenomenon that changed the course of gaming history. So you got videos, you have... It's not just videos of Mortal Kombat either. Like, this covers, like, the history of Midway. Ed Boon, is it split up in the years? So this is 1986. It's obviously that's not him in 1986. That's probably a picture of him in the bottom right. Is he eating? He's eating a bag of pretzels in a room with a damn stereo. I'm just throwing courses. Yeah, I think all of this stuff here. Narc, see, this is the game right here that should be in the collection. This should absolutely be here, dude. The digitized portrait dominating the front, Williams' promotional flyer called Narc the kind of breakthrough game that's going to dramatically change video. Which it certainly did, thanks to its sensational digitized graphics. Narc is the game where you run around as the cops arresting people. And see, again, they have stuff about the games, but they don't have the games in here themselves. It would be really cool, but I think the issue is that, like, I think Warner Brothers owns the rights to the Midway library right now, and they're not doing anything with it. But, you know, it'd be cool, like, you know, hopping on here one day and all of a sudden, like, hey, we added in Pit Fighter and High Impact Football. This is a weird ass game. It's like Blitz before Blitz. Smash TV is another one that was like, it led up to all this stuff. But anyway, let's go ahead and go to one of the videos. Let's start with the first one.
Hey, have you heard of this game, Mortal Kombat?
What is Mortal Kombat?
It's like Street Fighter, but you could fucking kill people.
Whoa!
The first game truly was like an expression of who we were at the time, the stuff that we consumed growing up as kids, and we just threw it all into the game.
You know, there was no template to how to make the games. There was no instructions, just winging it.
And I'd never done this before. I didn't know how to do it. We were just kind of making it up as we went along.
We were just a bunch of knuckleheads doing whatever we wanted, and we were happy.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat!
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat! It is simultaneously exactly like and nothing like Street Fighter.
Kano.
Liu Kang.
Rated Johnny Cage.
Scorpion.
Sub-Zero.
Sonya.
Round one. Fight!
You had to guess like the moves and how to figure out the codes.
Remember having a cheat sheet.
Hit block and mash the buttons, I don't know.
Block, 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 block. High kick.
Fatality. Kano ripped out a heart, held it up, blood dripping from it. It's the first time I've seen blood in a video game.
Blood flying out of these people's heads.
My parents were very worried about the violence.
I don't want you guys playing this. This sounds bad. Finish him.
The game narrator instructs the player to finish his opponent.
Oh my God, I didn't know that you could do that. It was a mega hit. Game after game after game.
It's amazing. I could have never imagined how big it has all become.
It was,
So cool,
is, and
man.
always will be a fighting game for everyone.
It's funny to think that it all started from like 4 guys in Chicago that just wanted to make a cool martial arts game.
And those people.
So cool. Like the history, like the way that the game just started, and it's still relevant today. Like, man, oh,
My parents were both born in Dominican Republic, and they had...
I'll be right back.
They were both doctors. I'm one of 5 kids. My older brother and older sister were born in Dominican Republic, and I was the first one born in Chicago, in Rogers Park, Chicago. And my brother and sister followed, Mike Boone, who I've been working with for 20-something years now.
So we spent a lot of time playing computer games. We had the old consoles. We had a Bally Astrocade.
The Bally Astrocade was a video game system that had a cartridge that was basic programming.
And you know, you have the little plastic overlay you put over the keyboard, and you could type in basic programs, and we would write little games.
And that was my first exposure to what a computer program is, the idea of creating something digitally by yourself, moving a pixel on the screen and whatnot, it just kind of taps into your brain of, oh, I have control over this, and that's probably where I really got hooked on the idea of being able to control things on a TV. All of my friends already had jobs waiting for them getting out of school, and I didn't. I made one resume my entire life. I had one resume, and at the very bottom I had a little asterisk that said, strong interest in video games. I got a call from a headhunter saying, are you interested in working at Williams Electronics? And at the time I knew exactly what Williams Electronics was. They were Defender, Stargate, Robotron, Joust, Sinistar, Moon Patrol. You know, there was 100 games that I was aware of that they worked on. I knew the people.
Those were exciting days of meeting your idols. Oh, there's Eugene Jarvis, there's Sal DeVita, Mark Trammell, Warren Davis. You're working alongside people that created the games that you grew up with.
I went there thinking that I was interviewing for a programmer's job, a video game programmer's job. And they were like, no, this is for pinball. Are you still interested? And I said, yeah, absolutely. And there was a part of my brain behind me that was like, you know, eventually I'd like to get into video games, but it sounds like a fun job nonetheless. My first pinball machine was a game called Millionaire. That was kind of like how I got my foot in the door. I was just learning how to, you know, turn on lamps and flash bulbs and do special effects and whatnot. Eugene Jarvis was working down the hall from me on a game called F-14 Tomcat. He was working on a pinball machine, and Eugene asked me if I could do, you know, special effects for that game. It had some really cool light effects, and so everybody started asking me to do special effects for their games. I became the special effects guy.
I met Ed Boon the day he arrived at Williams. He was a really nice guy, young and naive, and smart as hell, and we had a great time working on Black Knight with Larry Tomorrow.
Eugene had gone full-time into working on NARC. And again, this wasn't just a video game. This was a whole operating system and hardware. He eventually gave me a hardware system in my office while I was programming pinballs, and then on the side I would just be like making packets of dollar signs exploding that they were using in NARC when you would drop money and whatnot. And so I was just messing around with that and was really getting excited about the notion of working on video games. And at some point there was an understanding that when I was done with Black Knight, I would join the video game department to work on high impact football with Eugene in about 1990, I would guess.
Yep. I mean, it's stuff like this, man, that I think makes these collections like super cool, because you get these interviews that you wouldn't like. Putting these games out was one thing. There was a collection a long time ago that put like 1, 2, and Ultimate 3 out, like Xbox Live, but there was no context. It was just, here's the games.
The ashes of the video crash were still smoking a little bit. The whole industry, both console and arcade and everything, we'd been rehashing the same simple, you know, character-based games. And as far as character art, at this era, the Japanese were really dominating things, and they had just amazing artists, and we really didn't have that resource in the U.S. And so it was, how do we compete? You know, I was like thinking, well, why does everything have to be some kind of fantasy or, you know, men in tights or little cute characters running around the screen? Why can't we get Dirty Harry for the arcade? You know, you know, it's like, and by doing live action, we don't need all these animators. Technology was moving and digitization was starting to happen. So NARC was kind of born out of that.
We were envisioning what is the next step? The idea of doing digitized imagery. Well, one thing is it would require more than 16 colors. The next step in our hardware design, we knew back in like 86, maybe 87, was going to be 256 colors.
Pixel art is great, but Warren's tools made it possible for us to capture video.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't realize Sal DeVito played any of the characters, but that would make sense. Everybody did.
Eugene wrote the operating system. I wrote the display system.
It was very early, and there was only a few boards that would do this, and they were very, touchy, and there was no tools, there was no Photoshop, there was no Maya. So Warren was really instrumental in creating that pipeline.
We couldn't grab real time off of a videotape, but we could videotape whatever we wanted and then still frame and grab individual frames. We've got the actual image, which is thousands of colors that an Amiga can generate. But then how do we turn that into 256? So I started exploring these algorithms to quantize or reduce colors from thousands to the best palette of 256 colors.
And there was always big problems with noise and getting washed out images, and the color was crappy, and
there's all sorts of tear and jitter and blur because VHS is terrible quality. But that's what we had at the start.
The development of the studio and the techniques that we utilized came from those guys. Folks like Warren Davis or Mark Lafredo. These are the guys working on the hardware and the software that we worked on. It's like, if you think about me at the time, I was like, 20, 21 years old. And so I was literally just inheriting all this work that had been done before me. And I mean, I think we all like to talk and fantasize about this garage development mentality and stuff, but really, there was there were tools and things that were happening behind the scenes that we benefited from.
Again, Eugene Jarvis with like his just kind of overall direction and focus. A guy named Todd Allen who literally wrote a debugger. To this day, I'm just amazed at everything that he's done. And Warren, he made it possible. Like if Warren didn't do what he did, I don't know if we would have been able to have done Mortal Kombat.
And and Warren was always around, so that whenever we wanted anything else, a request came up, we just went over his office and talked to him, and he'd be like, yeah, okay, give me a day, I'll have that for tomorrow. And it's like, tomorrow, okay, great.
Besides being an amazing programmer and creating Qbert and working alongside of him and just being like friends with this.
Sorry, I'm also eating.
Was just really overwhelming. He's one of my favorite people in the world.
I don't go around talking to people about what I did for Mortal Kombat. I don't talk about what I did in general. I have to say there's a lot of people in my life, they didn't know about Qbert until they've known me for like 5 or more years. And then they would be like, wait a minute, you made Qbert? So I'm like, well, it never came up in conversation. I just don't, I don't dwell on it. Although I do have to say I am very proud of my contribution to Mortal Kombat. A lot of people talk about digitized graphics, but it's like they just existed. It's like they just came out of nowhere. No, people don't think that they came from somebody or from somewhere.
Oh. Starts in 1992, right? Oh, here we go. All right, yeah, it starts here. Oh, look at that. Finding Liu Kang. Liu Kang started out as Yoshitsune Minamoto, a martial arts master named after, or a master martial artist named after a real-life samurai warrior. The character later evolved into a Shaolin monk. Some characters would not appear until later games. Kitsune would become Katana in MK2, while elements of Striker would inform both Sonya and Jax. A different form of Striker would eventually appear in MK3. Oh my god, they already had his name out. Wow. Shang Lao's princess daughter betrays Lao when she falls for Kang. Background non-playable. Palette swap for 2 ninjas, a hunter and the hunted, or one is running away from Cian? What? Maybe rival. Oh, running away from clan. Maybe rival clans revenge story. See, these are the kinds of things right here that I like. I love seeing, man. Like this can't get this anywhere else, man. Curtis Stryker in MK1. Could you imagine turning that game on and it's like, here's just a guy. Stryker is a member of Stryker is a member of a top U.S. Special Forces unit. His exact position in the military is unknown. It is known, however, that most of his martial arts studies were obtained from a ninjutsu grandmaster hired by the military to instruct a select group of its soldiers. Man. Liu Kang, hero slash protagonist, Michael Grimm. Michael Grimm, sidekick, Curtis Stryker, skeptic, Raiden, mentor, Kano, trickster, Ninja 1, hunter, Ninja 2, hunted, Gongoro, Threshold Guardian? What? Shang Lao, shapeshifter slash antagonist, Kitsune, herald. Shang Lao corrupts the Shaolin. Wait. Okay, this takes place 500 years ago. Okay, alright, so follow me. Shang Lao corrupts the Shaolin tournament after Gongoro becomes champion. Lao uses the souls of dead warriors to stay immortal and appease his gods. Shang Lao's gods want to invade our realm. They use the tournament to unbalance the forces. What? Unbalance the Furies? When Earthrealm is in chaos, Shang Lao's gods can step through the dimensional gates. Shang Lao Island is the gateway. Tournaments are generational? Or even 100 years? Yo! They've got sketches. Shang Lao, of course, that's straight up Big Trouble in Little China. Lin Kuei Ninja. The actual identity of this warrior is unknown. However, based on the markings of his uniform, it is believed he belongs to the Lin Kuei, a legendary clan of Chinese ninja. Raiden. The name of Raiden is actually that of a deity known as the Thunder God. It is rumored he received a personal invitation by Shang Lao himself and took the form of a human to compete in the tournament. Michael Grimm. Martial arts superstar trained throughout his life by great masters from around the world. Grimm uses his talents on the big screen. He is the current box office champ and star of such movies as Dragon's Fist 2, and the award-winning Sudden Violence. They already had he called him Michael Grimm, but that is just Johnny Cage. Cow ends up being Kano. Mercenary thug extortionist. A mercenary thug extortionist thief. Cal lives a life of crime and injustice. He is a devoted member of the Yakuza. Okay. Rokuro. I don't know who this is. Rokuro belongs to a race of demon warriors called the Rokuro Kubi, demons of the dark, reputed to be savage barbarians. Rokuro will use this misrepresentation against his opponents. He will use the tournament to restore the pride and respect of his race. Now, looking at him, if you add 2 arms, that's kind of Goro. Maybe that's who that is, I don't know. Let's see, where does it... Oh. The first public test, when a prototype game... Yep, I was gonna say the same thing. What? When a prototype game was put into a real arcade for a critical playtest, the developers got to see real-world reactions to their hard work, both good and bad. Let's see.
Testing a game was always one of the most fun parts of the job.
To eating.
In the earliest days of Mortal Kombat development, the only place you could play the game was in Ed's office. I would play the game every day. Ed would call me in to try something out, but other people, would walk by Ed's office and see what he was working on and come in and play the game. And it was very valuable feedback, because that feedback was coming from guys like Eugene and Mark Trammell and George Petro and a lot of the other developers in the office at the time. Eventually, we would put a game out in the hallway for anybody to play. And so we'd get pinball designers would come down and play the game. There were folks who worked in the factory would come back and they would play the game. And so we'd watch folks kind of play the game, and we'd take notes on sort of what the reactions were. And then eventually that would lead to our first weekend test.
Testing the game in the arcade was such a critical part of determining what's working and what doesn't work.
Being on test is like one of the best parts, one of the most exciting parts of doing an arcade game.
Our first location test was a weekend test that we did, and that was done at an arcade called Times Square. It was a Friday night, so it was packed. The arcade was packed. And there was a crowd around the Street Fighter
Dude,
game. Street Fighter
this is a different time.
And I
Not
just
this,
thought,
but the time they're talking about.
These guys are coming over to play our game.
Going to an arcade and seeing crowds of people around a game like Mortal Kombat, nobody knows what it is because it's the location test.
Would go no matter
Wild.
whose game it was.
You'd roll a blank black cabinet into an arcade and just turn it on.
When we brought the first Mortal Kombat game out on test, there were 6 characters. We didn't have Sonya yet. A whole bunch of things just weren't working. And it was all about just kind of the fundamentals, the feel of it, the reaction to the visual, the reaction to blood.
That rush, that reverie, or that destruction and devastation if something doesn't work out, like, it's like, oh, we got to fix that, and it hurts, it feels bad.
I remember watching the first player, who was one of the guys from the crowd, walking over and looking at the attract mode and then dropping a token in and playing the game. And then I remember he walked over, tapped, fell on the shoulder, called him over, and then the other guy came over, and then they played the game. And then slowly people migrated over.
Whenever you would see a secret move come out, I remember the first time they saw Raiden do the dive move, you'd hear an audible, cheering or gasp. Or, how did you do that? Easily the most enjoyable part for me was seeing and hearing reactions from players.
And at some point, Ed, I think, went in and he did a fatality. Kind of a thing, and then he walked away, like, now it's a big frenzy to figure out, like, how do you do that? How do you do that? And that's how people found out about the fatalities. Assuming my memory is correct, but I believe that's how it happened.
We would never perform fatalities in front of people because then someone's going to see you do it, right? Like, we wanted to launch the game and have people discover it naturally and organically. Testing the first Mortal Kombat, there was a certain amount of anonymity, I guess you can say. Like, we could be in an arcade watching with a crowd of other people and be close enough in age to them that we just kind of blend in. What is this new game? And then you would get a candid response. Once you tell them that you worked on the game, then they're not going to say anything negative about it.
Across the street from Times Square was a pizza place. And so we would go across the street, get some pizza, and we would discuss, everything that we saw, what was cool, what was not cool, or, what should we change? Hey, that was cool. And it was so much fun.
Seeing that first game on test was so reaffirming that we had something big. I saw players get so excited they just had to run. They just had to run around like in circles.
By the end of that night, we had a pack of players around our game, hooting and hollering and just having a great time.
Players that we saw first see the game on a Friday, we saw them the entire weekend.
And I think at that point I thought, okay, we're gonna be okay. Let's try the one you were talking about. Where she
Yo, what?
Can you do that, or is that?
That's great. Is that enough for you?
Yeah, let's let's try it one more time and just step up a little bit, just in case I need anything before, just in case. Start a little bit further up. Can you start on the mat?
Man, the idea of just getting these people here and be like, hey, can you do this? And them just doing it. Oh.
Okay, now once from the very middle, act like you're just getting into it. You don't even have to. This is so we can do the beginning part.
She should do it from the stance.
Right, from your stance.
Get like in your stance and just act like you're getting into it. Actually, she should step up.
Move to the middle, like where you're going.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good move. You'll be impressed when you see what we turn that into.
So cool. So cool.
This was our first game that we were doing kind of as the leaders of the games. You know, Mark Trammell was the kind of leader of the Smash TV team.
How handsome he is, man.
Kind of the leader.
Look at these people. Jeez. Like 30 years ago. No, yeah, it's about 30 years ago.
First solo project.
I think
Little
they
bit of-
have complementary skill sets.
We're symbiotic in a way. Certainly in the first few games, it was just like we just knew what the other person was looking for. And I don't know that we ever, I mean, if we had an argument, it certainly wasn't about the work that we were doing. We just seemed to know what the other person was looking for.
They worked well because they trusted each other's talents enough to say, okay, yeah, you know what you're talking about. Ed took care of all the programming. John took care of all the art.
They just had this unsaid, hey, you know, it'd be fun. Yeah, that's awesome. Let's do it.
Working with Ed, one of his great strengths were just his focus, I think, and his ability to just grind and get things done. Ed, who was the sole programmer to create that game, in hindsight, was incredible.
For one programmer to do all those games is pretty amazing. And
his door is always open. He wants to hear new ideas. He's dangerously funny, where it just busts me up at least once a day.
He would just crack us up all the time, just his jokes, and he made it easy to work the long hours.
John is a really good storyteller. John has a history as a comic book artist. So I think that probably contributed to his ability.
It's weird. It's like I remember playing Mortal Kombat. I remember my brother telling me I needed to rent Mortal Kombat, but I didn't know what it was until I brought it home, and I just remember being like creeped out by it. I guess honestly, I was scared of Goro. Like I didn't know what he was, but you know, occasionally we would get like far enough in the game where we do the endurance battles, and you see Goro, and it's like, man, the guy he's got 4 arms. How are we gonna beat him?
You know, maybe not unlike WWF or something.
Different times.
Almost like Star Wars in martial arts.
Look at that. What is that thing?
Was like an expression of just who we were at the
And
time.
the thing is, like, you know, you're looking at the other characters, and they're real people. So when you see Goro, it's like, wait, is that real? When I was a kid, at least, you know, if I was an adult playing the game, I'd probably been like, oh, that's a cool effect.
What can you say? Success beyond belief.
Yes. Yep. Good times. Mortal Kombat. The origins of Mortal Kombat are so cool, man. It's unfortunate, like, I don't know, like, I don't really care for, like, Mortal Kombat 1 and 11 and stuff, but man. It's such a cool series. I didn't know he had a fatality. What's that? That move would be a lot better if he used both of his hands like Smash. It's just one hand.
Fighting games have proven themselves to be strong collectors suitable for a wide range of locations. They embody the most attractive elements of the arcade experience. Characters endowed with mythic powers, full player control, secret moves, and the kind of unbridled, head-to-head competition that compels repeat buying. Now from Midway comes Mortal Kombat. It captures the most popular elements of the fighting game and adds more. More control, more powerful characters, more depth, more secret moves, and advanced digitized graphics delivering the most realistic fighting action available. Begin Mortal Kombat by choosing one of 7 characters, each boasting an arsenal of unique talents. There's Johnny Cage, the brash Hollywood movie star. Kano, thief and mercenary. Raiden, the mythical thunder god. Liu Kang, the fighting Shaolin monk. Scorpion, a ninja warrior bent on revenge. Sub-Zero, the ultimate assassin. And Sonya, U.S. Special Forces soldier. Each player has 5 basic moves corresponding to the 5 action buttons. High punch. High kick. Low punch. Low kick. And a block. In addition to these moves, players will continue to discover new joystick button combinations. Each new technique provides another competitive edge. For example, moving the joystick away from your opponent while pressing the low kick button will result in this sweep kick. Moving the joystick straight down will put the player in a crouch. By then releasing the joystick and pressing low punch, you'll administer a devastating uppercut. Secret moves play a big part in the success of any fighting game. Collections soar as players strive to develop a character's full fighting potential. Mortal Kombat has several times more secret moves than the nearest competitor. The button joystick combinations required to execute these moves are different for each character, as are the moves themselves. And each character's arsenal of secret moves offers unique tactical advantages. If you learn one of Sonya's secret moves, you'll be able to perform this devastating scissor throw. Learning to activate Raiden's secret weapon lets you fire lightning bolts at your opponents.
Raiden wins.
Victory is achieved by winning 2 out of 3 rounds. Players losing a match will have to buy in to continue.
Liu Kang wins.
Finally, winning 3 matches against paired adversaries will put you in the ring opposite Goro, a 4-armed, unstoppable titan, half human, half dragon.
Dude, imagine me being 6 years old or whatever, and like seeing that guy and be like, man, this is crazy monster fighting this little Asian man.
Shang Tsung, the bloodthirsty emperor, capable of instantly becoming any fighter he chooses. Conquer Shang Tsung, and you will have joined unfrequented ranks. Those who have battled all adversaries, yet survived. Every 5 matches during both 1 and 2-player games, you'll have a chance to test your strength and win bonus points by smashing progressively harder
This was a
objects.
different time period.
Two-player mode allows true head-to-head combat.
This looked like the kind of thing you would get in like a videotape back in the day. It probably
As well
is.
as a knowledge of their character's strengths, as they are matched against an opponent with different but equally lethal abilities. Each player selects a character and the match begins. The player losing the best-of-3 match will have the option of buying in to continue. The winning player will continue to play as long as he maintains a string of victories. Loser pays, winner stays.
As it should be.
From a technical standpoint, operators will find even more to like. Mortal Kombat employs Midway's exclusive diagnostic package and a sensitive yet durable 8-way micro-switch joystick. In addition,
No low
operators will
blows.
want to
Yeah,
be
okay.
aware of a dip switch setting we've included, allowing them to temper the game to fit the requirements of a location. By simply flipping a switch on the CPU board, you're able to remove any
Man.
depictions of blood that would otherwise appear in the game.
I downloaded all the American Ninja movies. Yes, they definitely were. They definitely were. Like, you got the Ninja Turtles, the American Ninjas movies, The Perfect Weapon. This, I feel like Big Trouble in Little China kind of fits in that too. All those weird martial arts movies. It's not ninjas, but like even Karate Kid almost fits into like whatever this
Quite
is.
simply, the most complete
Bloodsport.
video fighting game available. It boasts the industry's most realistic graphics, digitized
Like
images,
back when I was a kid,
and martial arts experts.
there were so many kids that would try to sound tough by saying like, "Oh, be careful, I'm a black belt. You don't want to mess with me." Like, okay,
Moves to learn and
I'm sure you are a black belt from the
fierce battles against
grocery
titanic
store
adversaries.
karate classes that you've been
All
taking.
of these elements combine to make this game powerfully unique. The world's most advanced interactive fighting experience.
How exciting. Okay, yes, that is like a straight up. This is the video they released on VHS back in the day. That's why it has that weird tone. Most advanced and fully articulated fighting action game ever created, with all the unbridled fury of head-to-head competition. Man, I love this. This is one of my favorite arcade flyers of all time, just because like the idea of these grown men jumping out of this arcade machine and choking these kids is so good. There's an old WCW commercial where it's like Sting just beating the shit out of a kid. It's so good. It's so good. Means major coinage. This is the version in the game. Okay, so it's version 4.0. I'm gonna see if they talk about this thing. So, one of the things I've heard about Mortal Kombat is that, like, in the original games, like 1 and 2 in particular, they would do the location test for the games, and if they realized that people were figuring out fatalities or like secrets too fast, they would just go in and like they would do an update and they would change all of it. So it's like if you played Street Fighter and you know you're like, oh man, if you do a quarter circle forward and hit punch, you do a fireball with Ryu. Wow, how do you do that? And you learn it. It'd be like if you go back to the arcade like a week later and all of a sudden it's like, you know, it's quarter circle back and punch. Like, why? Again, they were doing weird things just to be different because they felt the appeal of the game. Like, people were putting money into the machine to learn the secrets, not necessarily to get good. And I think that's one of the things that, like, as time went on, they became obsessed with that. And I feel like that's why this series is, like, in a weird spot right now. But let's see.
Fighting games of that era kind of all had this level of secrecy to them. Mortal Kombat, I think, took that to a very extreme level.
You had to guess like the moves and how to figure out the codes.
I think Street Fighter did something like that, right? They didn't document any of the moves, so we took that same approach.
I think not having a move list, there was so much to explore and you had no idea of what you were still missing. It was another thing, it built up so much mystique to the game.
But then we kind of extended it, right, with the fatalities and whatnots. Especially at the end with the character Dizzy, there was a certain amount of, you know, what are you gonna do? You would see them trying to trigger something else. They knew that there was something secret in there.
The announcer's like, finish him! And you go up and go, boom. And you're like, damn it! I screwed up the fatality. It's like the worst feeling in the world.
And, you know, everyone was playing as Kano because in the early days before people, you know, knew what most of the moves were, Kano's moves were just, I don't know, move the joystick in a circle real fast and he'll turn into a ball and do it, or hit block and mash the buttons, I don't know.
First character I played was Kano, and I found the ball attack and the knife throw, and within the first day I found the fatality too.
Kano wins.
I was finding stuff right away.
I remember being in your office, and I remember you showing me what the button combinations were, and then you have to be standing this far away from the other character, and I remember thinking to myself, there's no way anybody's gonna figure this out. We're never gonna, no one's ever gonna do this.
Dude, the thing they're talking about right there, the fatalities, like I remember having a strategy guide from Mortal Kombat 3 that I got from school because somebody brought it in for a project, like to tear up the magazine or whatever. Seeing like being like 3/4 of a screen away from a person and doing a move, but what the fuck? What does that mean? 3/4? What?
If you knew something that wasn't, you know, widespread knowledge, you could take that down to the arcade and pull it out on somebody and really blow some mind.
So a lot of hand watching. Where did you stand? The most premium spots are literally right behind it, like right between two people, or on the corners, because those are the only spots where you were able to see the screen and people's hands at the same time.
There was so much in there, and it really requires a fan base to come together and share, to work together to play them and solve them and uncover the secrets and all that stuff.
I was always obsessed with those kinds of things. I was a big fan of Street Fighter, and there was this rumor that was not true, that there was a character in there called Sheng Long. And I remember when we had started this game thinking, you know, we have to have a real secret character. And so there was a Sunday, and Scorpion was yellow, Sub-Zero was blue, and I went into the art program and tinted him green, made up these crazy rules in terms of how to find him, made him jump out occasionally and kind of tease you with his existence, put it together in one day, didn't even tell John about it, and was just kind of wondering how many people are going to pick up on this. It became a bit of like a Bigfoot. Some people had sightings and some people didn't, because there was this one that was real and was rather difficult to find. It could give players a little bit of creative license to come up with something and say that they did see something else happening in the game.
The way they do the knockback to stop the infinites is crazy. It's such a like progressive thought for the time.
Of the internet. And people started trading around like, hey, here's a list of, I think these are fatalities.
I remember going home to my dad's house, and he had internet. He had a CompuServe account. And I started just learning as much as I could. And I'm like, Dad, can I go back to the arcade? I want to try some of this stuff.
I made it my mission to test all that stuff out. And that became my calling. We need to investigate.
And I published my first FAQ, and it is the most inaccurate piece of junk that is available. It's like shameful, but it's where I started.
And then, all these urban legends about Ermac and all these other alleged characters that it's kind of like, how the kids used to say back in the day, the negative worlds in Mario Brothers and Mario could go skiing. It's that kind of like, the kid equivalent of water cooler conversations.
People would come up with lore, lies
right.
of,
That's
of
right.
I did this and that happened, and everybody's, and we just shut up.
A friend of mine in high school said he was cousins with someone who filmed for the game, and that there was a secret character that they had filmed. So I put it in my FAQ, and I trusted him and found out way later he was just messing with me.
The people feeding in things that they'd want to see in the game would kind of blend in with what was really there. Sometimes you'd see a move and then it was gone.
Hit him in the balls. I love it. That is what it is. Like the first time you see that move, it's like, oh man, he hit him in the balls. Wow, it's real.
His little brother was playing the game and told me about Kano's laser beam.
Yeah, that's right.
And I remember telling my friend's younger brother, there's no laser beam. He's like, no, I saw it. And so I know he's mistaken with what, I don't know what he saw, but he didn't see that. This mythology was being built by the player base. I think we understood that pretty early on, and Ed, more than anybody, I think really took advantage of that and kind of messed with the players with hiding stuff in the game.
Yeah, I remember somebody found one of Sonya's moves, and I foolishly changed it because I read it on a news group, thinking, I got the best of that.
And they did some devious things to keep a lot of those things secret. I think there was a revision of Mortal Kombat 2 where they just arbitrarily changed all the fatalities because everyone figured them out too fast. And it's maybe the most devious and mean thing they've ever done.
I remember thinking at that point, yeah, this internet thing has gotten, you can't beat it. You can't defeat it. It's just too powerful.
One of the fun things about going to an arcade was, a lot of people didn't have the internet just yet. So people would show up with their copy of their FAQ. Once I was there and I saw someone with my guide, like my FAQ, and I was like, oh, where'd you get that? He's like, oh, the guy who wrote it sold it to me. And I was like, what do you mean sold it to you? I wrote it.
We had a Mortal Kombat comic book that John drew, and we were the ones stuffing the envelopes, and we started writing messages to players. Sonya has a slide move, She didn't have a slide move. Within a week, I was at, it was like Galen North or something arcade, and some guy was playing Sonya, just keep trying these things. And one of the guys said, what are you looking for? And he goes, I'm looking for Sonya's slide move, Poor guy was, looking for it. But we were just adding fuel to that fire.
Most of those secrets went unknown to me until much later in life when walkthroughs on YouTube became a thing. And I was like, whoa, I totally missed a lot of stuff in a lot of games.
So to us, secrets were basically replay value, and that was the most important thing for us. Having more to do with the game, having more to discover, more to enjoy.
We love the idea of, just this question mark over the game. What else is in there that nobody else has found? And it just made the game that much more mysterious, right?
So when Street Fighter 2 came out, I wasn't really too impressed by it. I think I finished it once, picked Zangief because I was a wrestling fan, and then kind of moved on. I eventually kind of fell in with a crowd that really got a lot out of Street Fighter 2, and so suddenly it became very apparent I need to get great at that game. One guy showed up and said, "Hey, have you heard of this other game, Mortal Kombat?" Like, no. What is Mortal Kombat? And he said, "Well, it's like Street Fighter, but you can fucking kill people." Okay, well, we need to go see this game right now.
I absolutely remember the first time I played Mortal Kombat. It was at Lions Family Fun, my favorite arcade.
My dad would usually give my brother and me $5 each and let us run wild while he went shopping.
I was at an arcade in Virginia. The Q Lounge in the Bronx, New York. It was a space that was half smoky pool hall, half arcade.
He took us to an arcade 2 towns north, up to Santa Rosa. There's a place called Systems City. And it was like part skate shop, but in the back room, all the lights were off, and they had like 5 arcade machines back there.
I see this huge crowd gathered around a new cabinet.
And it was sitting there. There was nobody around it.
No one was playing it. It was just sitting there. What is this? I just remember just like a big line around the cabinet.
Everyone is crowded around Mortal Kombat. It is simultaneously exactly like and nothing like Street Fighter. The film, the presentation, the real actors and actresses and all of that really just, it's so striking.
In Mortal Kombat, when you're seeing those 2 big characters on the screen, I was just like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Instantly, I was like, oh, it's digitized, it's real people. It was like, wow, this is incredible. It's like, how are they doing this? How did this game come to be?
I was blown away by how it looked. Because it was a violent, bloody game. Like, that's the first time I've seen blood in a video game that I remembered.
Even from a basic high punch, you just see blood flying out of these people's heads.
Even if I couldn't do the specials of certain characters, I could fall into a rhythm that just felt so good. Just like, air kick, uppercut. And I was, I feel like the baddest motherfucker in the world.
In a time where you didn't see that kind of stuff
Okay, Amir.
in games, and especially in arcades where kids were running around with their parents, and parents were still freaking out too, kind of seeing what was happening.
My dad came up behind me. I didn't know this at the time, but the screen went dark. Kano ripped out a heart and held it up, blood dripping from it, and my dad went, "Oh, no," and whisked me out of the arcade, and that's when I knew I had to play that game because I was not allowed to play that game.
People getting chopped in half and torsos being dismembered.
Hooray wins. Flawless fatality.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that in a video game. I didn't know that was allowed in a video game.
And we're, 16, 17 at the time, so this is the most exciting thing in the world.
The endings and how every character had, even though Street Fighter, they had an ending, but Mortal Kombat was like the first thing that really affected me that was like, I really want to play all these characters to see what happens. And this is before YouTube, so it wasn't like you could just go on YouTube and watch it. You had to, earn it, right?
What's Kano's backstory? What about Sonya? That's what we wanted to know about. And they specified a lot of it, kind of in various screens and whatnot. We were hooked.
But it didn't take long from there for that game to be literally everywhere. Every single pizza place, 7-Eleven, arcades, the arcades that were left at that point. All of them had a Mortal Kombat machine probably within a month.
Let's go punch people. Man. Comic book. They've made... There were trading cards that came out for the game that had like special moves and stuff on them. I'm surprised they're not in here. I'm sure there's somewhere. Oh, it's the dumb Mortal Kombat ad. Mortal Kombat. Mortal Monday. One of the 2 big original launch days. Let's go. Mortal Kombat. Okay. Mortal Kombat. Fatality training. I was positive. I don't know why. I was positive that word was fatality. My brother was older than me, but I mean, he didn't really pay attention in school, so that's my excuse for him. I don't know why I thought that's what that said. Let's go full. Let's go wide. Look at this. Look at... it's so clear. Oh my gosh. Just thinking about how this the Game Boy version looked compared to this right here, and like back then, again, the Game Boy version was like, this is perfect. What more could you want from a video game? The moves aren't even right.
Scorpion wins. Scorpion wins.
I did it right.
Flawless victory.
Progress. She's hot. Fight her. I gotta fight a girl. Oh, that won't be a problem. Oh, it's so satisfying, man. That 1-2, that come here and then uppercut, feels so good. To this day, it feels good.
Sonya wins.
Good job, Sonya. Oh, dude, you see that? He took his mask off and he was a skeleton and he burned her. That's how that stuff would spread. You would hear that, nuh-uh, it's not real. No, I played a game, it was like Street Fighter, but it was for real. Oh, wow. Good job. Good job. Damn. Damn, boy. Damn, boy. I didn't block. Don't know why I didn't block. I should have blocked right there. Whatever happens, I should probably always have blocked. Good. Block. Block. Should have blocked. Should have blocked all of that, man.
Scorpion.
Oh, oh, good job. Those fatalities on me. Nice. Nice, nice, nice.
Scorpion.
Yeah, punk. When? Did the pit fatality? Maybe I do. Good. Not looking good. Nice. Kiwi. Up. Oh. Oh no. Whoa. Whoa. Oh. Dude, no, he uppercutted me and I fell into a pit and there were a bunch of dead people down there. Oh man, it was so cool. Again, that's how stuff would spread in Mortal Kombat, right, Pee-wee? Buddy? Back when this game came out, right?
Scorpion.
Let me lift the doggy out. I'll be right back. Sorry. I'm going to... Let me see. What game would have the best attract mode? Let's go ahead and save... Oh, nope. So I saved. Let's quit. Not that I'm far, but I'm, you know, I'm a little bit further. Let's go to arcade. Let's go to... I think MK2 might have some actual like attract mode stuff. Like you'll see like characters moving around or whatever. Okay, I will be back in a second. I'll let the doggy out.
Shang Tsung.
Alright, I'm back. My bad. Alright, sorry. My dog was whining to go outside or something. I don't know. I don't know what he was doing, to be honest. Great. Yeah. Go full. Look at how cool it looks. Oh man. Wow, they look so cool now. True. I think he has a dive kick. That makes him the best, right? I don't read what it was. I forgot. That's the fatality. The one where you like aim the hat, like chop off their head or whatever. What? Forward, forward, forward X. What? Nice, 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 nice. I deserved it. Perfect. It's enough. I mean, it's just Mortal Kombat, it's whatever. It's not so much for the games, it's what it is. It's the interviews and stuff that I think are the most important part. Oh. Disappointing. Like, the games are the games, the emulation is fine. Emulation on like the old Mortal Kombat games has been fine forever. Except for 4, I guess, but I'm pretty sure 4 is fine on here too. But like seeing like Ed Boon talk about like how he got started and all this stuff is really neat. If you liked Atari 50, you will like this, I think. This is another series that's, I mean, Atari 50 is not a series, but it's another developer that's like kind of important. Got him. Nice. Forgot all about the damn move. I wonder if you can do a jump kick into a dive kick. Pee-wee. Stop. Dive kick also seems to be kind of inconsistent. Like, I'll go for it, and like, one time I'll get it, and the next time I won't. Oh, not worth it. I wonder if he's going to do the pit fatality. All they do is uppercut, so I'm assuming they... No, there's no reason to try online. If you were to ask me, I don't think this is... Like, if this is the kind of game you're playing online with people that you know, it's not the kind of game you play, like, ranked matches for. Just because there's, like, so many different versions of the collection that have multiplayer, like online multiplayer, that I think the stuff is kind of diluted already. Whoa, dude! Oh man, I cut him in half? Whoa! I will show you what I mean about the multiplayer thing. This is a problem with a lot of collections like this. Like, if they have multiplayer, I think I just saved. Did. Cool. So, when you go to the main menu, you go to, like, quick match. The online options, sure. I have everything open for the most part. Quick match. The problem is that you have all of these different games that you can play. Now, if it was like, hey, you can play like 1, 2, forget that. Let's say UMK3, WaveNet Edition or whatever, and then 4, and maybe Trilogy, it would condense the list a lot more. But like, if I'm sitting here, like, you know, I want to play the 32X version of this online, I'm not gonna find anybody. It's hard to know what people are in. Like, if they also showed you like a player list, like, hey, there's 800 players in like MK3 right now, then I know, like, all right, this is where everybody's at. Over this or over this. Like, these two right here, incredibly similar, but hard to know, man. People also say, like, from reviews, that the multiplayer works fine if you can find a match, but again, because they have so many different versions of the games you can play online, like, I don't expect this to... I expect this to the multiplayer to die out pretty quick, outside of maybe playing, like, you know, let's say somebody's doing a tournament, like, hey, we're gonna play UMK3 for the Super Nintendo on this collection, everybody hop online right now. You could probably find a ton of people then, but it's spread out too much. You have, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 different versions of the games to play. It's hard knowing where anybody is. Combat card. Favorite character, sure. Let's back out of this. It's pretty neat. I'm waiting for this right here to download, but I gotta get through all of this stuff over here first. I don't know why this is taking so long. I feel like this game is probably bigger than I think it is. But unfortunately, the Switch doesn't show you how big a game is. It's really weird. Like, you have to go to the eShop to see, but if you don't have internet access, you have no way of knowing. Well, I mean, you can check the storage, but like if you're like, I want to download this game later, it won't tell you like, hey, this game is like 15 gigs, you need to create that much space. You don't know until you try to install it and it tells you, hey, you don't have space open. Yep. I don't like it when things aren't going my way. You got me in a bad way, Motley Cruz. Actually, it is 11/27 on October 30th. That means this was added today. How they do that there? They added a new game. Here's something new to play. What do you think it is? It's October 30th. It's Luigi's Mansion 1. I wish they added this like 2 weeks ago. Like just to have it for like all of the Halloween season instead of just like today and tomorrow. I mean, at this point, you know, it's like almost Halloween. So it came out October 30th. It's such a weird choice. Mario. Switch the damn game title before somebody comes in here and loses their damn mind. Hey, this ain't no Mortal Kombat. Mario. having this, Soul Calibur 2, F-Zero GX, and Wind Waker, while Chibi Robo 2, like, man, they started with some bangers with the GameCube, dude. Soul Calibur 2 is in here. What? The one with Link? Crazy. Yes, indeed. I'm afraid of no ghosts. For me. Okay. Well, hang in there for a couple more minutes and I'll be done. I'll be at 2 hours. Let's see what else is going on over here. This isn't downloading. Oh, I know why this isn't downloading because this is an online thing technically. Dumb. Using to play single player stuff, but it stops the downloads from happening. Whatever. Whatever. Let's go in here. Dragon Quest should be in here, I believe. Great deals. This is right here. There we go. $60. Yep. More Dragon Quest. So from what I understand, the reviews are like, I saw a review that was critical of the game, and they were complaining that Dragon Quest 1 is Dragon Quest 1, which it is. If you've never played any of these games before, they all have like parties, and all the characters are pretty well developed. Unfortunately, Dragon Quest 1 is a game where you just play as the main character. That's it. There's nobody else with you.
This is Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake. 2 games brought together in one perfect package. A new beginning and ending awaits.
Praise be! These are glad tidings indeed.
Thanks to the heroic efforts of the legendary Erdrick, the land of Alefgard had been restored. But after many years, the peace has been broken. The diabolical Dragon Lord has risen, and the world is once again overrun by hideous monsters. In Dragon Quest I, you, the hero, are the descendant of the legendary Erdrick. A young man that possesses the courage and strength to face monsters has been given the duty of rescuing the Princess Gwaelin and reclaiming the Sphere of Light to liberate Alefgard.
The fate of the world rests with you.
Although you will explore the world of Alefgard unaccompanied in Dragon Quest I, you will have to be at your best, as this time you will be fighting multiple monsters. Led by a mysterious voice heard in a dream, you will travel to the town of Tantegel, where your adventure begins.
It seemeth thou art a warrior of great skill. We have long awaited the coming of one such as thee.
As with Dragon Quest III, this remake of the original Dragon Quest is filled with a plethora of new areas to discover and features not seen before.
Can it truly be?
You will have new encounters with fairies and dwarves that did not appear in the original game.
No offense, but I'm not too fond of humans.
You'll encounter some enemies you will be acquainted with.
Come here and let me pummel thee!
As well as unfamiliar and powerful antagonists. Fighting enemies and monsters is all part of being the hero. Traditional but modernized turn-based battles give you an array of options at your fingertips. Prepare yourself and face the approaching monsters head-on. You can fight with a weapon, cast spells, or simply flee, which could be advisable if you're low on health.
I wish thee luck in thy quest.
The narrative ending of the trilogy lets you explore further to the outer reaches of Alefgard.
The wheels of fate have been set in motion.
Dragon Quest II finds us another century on, when peace has been broken by the evil High Priest Hargon, who has destroyed the kingdom of Moonbrook.
Neither Canuck nor Middenhall will ever be truly safe while the High Priest yet lives.
A later descendant of Erdrick, the Prince of Middenhall, spurred into action by this heinous act, sets out on a quest to join forces with 3 cousins to defeat Hargon and bring true peace to the land. Explore the expansive world map and towns of Middenhall, Canuck, and Moonbrook, founded by the descendants of the hero Erdrick, as well as brand new villages where you will meet the locals, pick up missions, buy important items, and of course, rest.
We have much to do on the morrow.
Discover castles, ruins, and dungeons where you will unearth secrets and gather valuable items. As you progress through the story, you will gain more companions to help you on your quest.
With me by your side, you shall not fall again.
Starting out, you are the hero, the cool-headed Prince of Middenhall. Although he cannot use spells, he defeats his enemies with his brawn and skilled sword combat. The Prince of Cannock can be carefree, but is highly skilled in both swordplay and magic.
It is a pleasure to join your fellowship.
While the boys fight it out with their muscle, the Princess of Moonbrook focuses her strength with a more considered approach and magical abilities. A newly playable character takes your party up to 4. Sister of the Prince of Cannock, this princess supports with magic and swift attacks, crucial in battle.
It is as I always say, age is no excuse to laze.
Each character plays a vital role in your strategic battle tactics, so make sure you have them readily equipped for the fight. As your party grows, so do your options in battle. Each character's unique abilities and skills makes combat more expansive than ever before. As you explore further, you will meet familiar monsters that you recognize from Dragon Quest III, as well as a whole host of new monsters to defeat and conquer. Every new environment brings stronger and ghastlier brutes, and more difficult quest objectives. But don't be deterred. Discover unknown lands where grisly creatures rule, and only the hardy venture.
We are victorious!
There are more improvements across both games. Sigils originally only appeared in Dragon Quest II, but now can be found in both games, advancing the story as well as aiding in combat. Scrolls also appear in both games, whereby abilities and spells are learnt by using an item rather than leveling up. Traveling around the epic landscapes of each game has been made easy with map markers, a mini-map, and autosaves. In addition to the variety of languages for text, you can also choose to play with English or Japanese voiceover. To help you progress, quality of life features, such as the ability to change battle speed and auto-battling, have been added. The rich orchestral soundtrack for each game by the Tokyo Metropolitan Orchestra completes an epic and unmissable package. All that stands between the forces of evil and their wicked ambitions are the heroes of Erdrick's lineage. The time has come for you to go on an adventure of discovery and honor their ancestors' legacy. Dragon Quest I and II HD 2D Remake. This is Dragon Quest I and II HD 2D Remake. 2 games brought together in one perfect package. A new beginning and ending awaits.
Praise be! These are glad tidings indeed.
Thanks to the heroic efforts of the legendary Erdrick, the land of Alefgard had been restored. But after many years, the peace has been broken. The diabolical Dragon Lord has risen, and the world is once again overrun by hideous monsters. In Dragon Quest I, you, the hero, are the descendant of the legendary Erdrick. A young man that possesses the courage and strength to face monsters has been given the duty of rescuing the Princess Gwaelin and reclaiming the Sphere of Light to liberate Alefgard.
The fate of the world rests with you.
Although you will explore the world of Alefgard unaccompanied in Dragon Quest I, you will have to be at your best, as this time you will be fighting multiple monsters. Led by a mysterious voice heard in a dream, you will travel to the town of Tantegel adventure begins.
It seemeth thou art a warrior of great skill. We have long awaited the coming of one such as thee.
As with Dragon Quest III, this remake of the original Dragon Quest is filled with a plethora of new areas to discover and features not seen before.
Can it truly be?
You will have new encounters with fairies and dwarves that did not appear in the original game.
No offense, but I'm not too fond of humans.
You'll encounter some enemies you will be acquainted with.
Come here and let me pummel thee!
As well as unfamiliar and powerful antagonists. Fighting enemies and monsters is all part of being the hero. Traditional but modernized turn-based battles give you an array of options at your fingertips. Prepare yourself and face the approaching monsters head-on. You can fight with a weapon, cast spells, or simply flee, which could be advisable if you're low on health.
I wish thee luck in thy quest.
The narrative ending of the trilogy lets you explore further to the outer reaches of Alefgard.
The wheels of fate have been set in motion.
Dragon Quest II finds us another century on, when peace has been broken by the evil High Priest Hargon, who has destroyed the kingdom of Moonbrook.
Neither Canuck nor Middenhall will ever be truly safe while the High Priest yet lives.
A later descendant of Erdrick, the Prince of Middenhall, spurred into action by this heinous act, sets out on a quest to join forces with 3 cousins to defeat Hargon and bring true peace to the land. Explore the expansive world map and towns of Middenhall, Canuck, and Moonbrook, founded by the descendants of the hero Erdrick, as well as brand new villages where you will meet the locals, pick up missions, buy important items, and of course, rest.
We have much to do on the morrow.
Discover castles, ruins, and dungeons where you will unearth secrets and gather valuable items. As you progress through the story, you will gain more companions to help you on your quest.
With me by your side, you shall not fall again.
Starting out, you are the hero, the cool-headed Prince of Middenhall. Although he cannot use spells, he defeats his enemies with his brawn and skilled sword combat. The Prince of Canuck can be carefree, but is highly skilled in both swordplay and magic.
It is a pleasure to join your fellowship.
While the boys fight it out with their muscle, the Princess of Moonbrook focuses her strength with a more considered approach and magical abilities. A newly playable character takes your party up to 4. Sister of the Prince of Canuck, this princess supports with magic and swift attacks, crucial in battle.
It is as I always say, age is no excuse to laze.
Each character plays a vital role in your strategic battle tactics, so make sure you have them readily equipped for the fight. As your party grows, so do your options in battle. Each character's unique abilities and skills makes combat more expansive than ever before. As you explore further, you will meet familiar monsters that you recognize from Dragon Quest III, as well as a whole host of new monsters to defeat and conquer. Every new environment brings stronger and ghastlier brutes, and more difficult quest objectives. But don't be deterred. Discover unknown lands where grisly creatures rule, and only the hardy venture.
We are victorious!
There are more improvements across both games. Sigils originally only appeared in Dragon Quest II, but now can be found in both games, advancing the story as well as aiding in combat. Scrolls also appear in both games, whereby abilities and spells are learnt by using an item rather than leveling up. Traveling around the epic landscapes of each game has been made easy with map markers, a mini-map, and autosaves. In addition to the variety of languages for text, you can also choose to play with English or Japanese voiceover. To help you progress, quality of life features, such as the ability to change battle speed and auto-battling, have been added. The rich orchestral soundtrack for each game by the Tokyo Metropolitan Orchestra completes an epic and unmissable package. All that stands between the forces of evil and their wicked ambitions are the heroes of Erdrick's lineage. The time has come for you to go on an adventure of discovery and honor their ancestors' legacy. Dragon Quest I and II HD 2D Remake. This is Dragon Quest I and II HD 2D Remake. 2 games brought together in one perfect package. A new beginning and ending awaits.
Praise be! These are glad tidings indeed.
Thanks to the heroic efforts of the legendary Erdrick, the land of Alefgard had been restored. But after many years, the peace has been broken. The diabolical Dragon Lord has risen, and the world is once again overrun by hideous monsters. In Dragon Quest I, you, the hero, are the descendant of the legendary Erdrick. A young man that possesses the courage and strength to face monsters has been given the duty of rescuing the Princess Gwaelin and reclaiming the Sphere of Light to liberate Alefgard.
The fate of the world rests with you.
Although you will explore the world of Alefgard unaccompanied in Dragon Quest I, you will have to be at your best, as this time you will be fighting multiple monsters. Led by a mysterious voice heard in a dream, you will travel to the town of Tantegel, where your adventure begins.
It seemeth thou art a warrior of great skill. We have long awaited the coming of one such as thee.
As with Dragon Quest III, this remake of the original Dragon Quest is filled with a plethora of new areas to discover and features not seen before.
Can it truly be?
You will have new encounters with fairies and dwarves that did not appear in the original game.
No offense, but I'm not too fond of humans.
You'll encounter some enemies you will be acquainted with.
Come here and let me pummel thee!
As well as unfamiliar and powerful antagonists. Fighting enemies and monsters is all part of being the hero. Traditional but modernized turn-based battles give you an array of options at your fingertips. Prepare yourself and face the approaching monsters head-on. You can fight with a weapon, cast spells, or simply flee, which could be advisable if you're low on health.
I wish thee luck in thy quest.
The narrative ending of the trilogy lets you explore further to the outer reaches of Alefgard.
The wheels of fate have been set in motion.
Dragon Quest II finds us another century on, when peace has been broken by the evil High Priest Hargon, who has destroyed the kingdom of Moonbrook.
Neither Canuck nor Middenhall will ever be truly safe while the High Priest yet lives.
A later descendant of Erdrick, the Prince of Middenhall, spurred into action by this heinous act, sets out on a quest to join forces with 3 cousins to defeat Hargon and bring true peace to the land. Explore the expansive world map and towns of Middenhall, Canuck, and Moonbrook, founded by the descendants of the hero Erdrick, as well as brand new villages where you will meet the locals, pick up missions, buy important items, and of course, rest.
We have much to do on the morrow.
Discover castles, ruins, and dungeons where you will unearth secrets and gather valuable items. As you progress through the story, you will gain more companions to help you on your quest.
With me by your side, you shall not fall again.
Starting out, you are the hero, the cool-headed Prince of Middenhall. Although he cannot use spells, he defeats his enemies with his brawn and skilled sword combat. The Prince of Canuck can be carefree, but is highly skilled in both swordplay and magic.
It is a pleasure to join your fellowship.
While the boys fight it out with their muscle, the Princess of Moonbrook focuses her strength with a more considered approach and magical abilities. A newly playable character takes your party up to 4. Sister of the Prince of Canuck, this princess supports with magic and swift attacks, crucial in battle.
It is as I always say, age is no excuse to laze.
Each character plays a vital role in your strategic battle tactics, so make sure you have them readily equipped for the fight. As your party grows, so do your options in battle. Each character's unique abilities and skills makes combat more expansive than ever before. As you explore further, you will meet familiar monsters that you recognize from Dragon Quest III, as well as a whole host of new monsters to defeat and conquer. Every new environment brings stronger and ghastlier brutes, and more difficult quest objectives. But don't be deterred. Discover unknown lands, where grisly creatures rule, and only the hardy venture.
We are victorious!
There are more improvements across both games. Sigils originally only appeared in Dragon Quest II, but now can be found in both games, advancing the story as well as aiding in combat. Scrolls also appear in both games, whereby abilities and spells are learnt by using an item rather than leveling up. Traveling around the epic landscapes of each game has been made easy with map markers, a mini-map, and autosaves. In addition to the variety of languages for text, you can also choose to play with English or Japanese voiceover. To help you progress, quality of life features, such as the ability to change battle speed and auto-battling, have been added. The rich orchestral soundtrack for each game by the Tokyo Metropolitan Orchestra completes an epic and unmissable package. All that stands between the forces of evil and their wicked ambitions are the heroes of Erdrick's lineage. The time has come for you to go on an adventure of discovery and honor their ancestors' legacy. Dragon Quest I and II HD 2D Remake. This is Dragon Quest I and II HD 2D Remake. 2 games brought together in one perfect package. A new beginning and ending awaits.
Praise be! These are glad tidings indeed.
Thanks to the heroic efforts of the legendary Erdrick, the land of Alefgard had been restored. But after many years, the peace has been broken. The diabolical Dragon Lord has risen, and the world is once again overrun by hideous monsters. In Dragon Quest I, you, the hero, are the descendant of the legendary Erdrick. A young man that possesses the courage and strength to face monsters has been given the duty of rescuing the Princess Gwaelin and reclaiming the Sphere of Light to liberate Alefgard.
The fate of the world rests with you.
Although you will explore the world of Alefgard unaccompanied in Dragon Quest I, you will have to be at your best, as this time you will be fighting multiple monsters. Led by a mysterious voice heard in a dream, you will travel to the town of Tantegel, where your adventure begins.
It seemeth thou art a warrior of great skill. We have long awaited the coming of one such as thee.
As with Dragon Quest III, this remake of the original Dragon Quest is filled with a plethora of new areas to discover and features not seen before.
Can it truly be?
You will have new encounters with fairies and dwarves that did not appear in the original game.
No offense, but I'm not too fond of humans.
You'll encounter some enemies you will be acquainted with.
Come here and let me pummel thee!
as well as unfamiliar and powerful antagonists. Fighting enemies and monsters is all part of being the hero. Traditional but modernized turn-based battles give you an array of options at your fingertips. Prepare yourself and face the approaching monsters head-on. You can fight with a weapon, cast spells, or simply flee, which could be advisable if you're low on health.
I wish thee luck in thy quest.
The narrative ending of the trilogy lets you explore further to the outer reaches of Alefgard.
The wheels of fate have been set in motion.
Dragon Quest II finds us another century on, when peace has been broken by the evil High Priest Hargon, who has destroyed the kingdom of Moonbrook.
Neither Canuck nor Middenhall will ever be truly safe while the High Priest yet lives.
A later descendant of Erdrick, the Prince of Middenhall, spurred into action by this heinous act, sets out on a quest to join forces with 3 cousins to defeat Hargon and bring true peace to the land. Explore the expansive world map and towns of Middenhall, Canuck, and Moonbrook, founded by the descendants of the hero Erdrick, as well as brand new villages where you will meet the locals, pick up missions, buy important items, and of course, rest.
We have much to do on the morrow.
Discover castles, ruins, and dungeons where you will unearth secrets and gather valuable items. As you progress through the story, you will gain more companions to help you on your quest.
With me by your side, you shall not fall again.
Starting out, you are the hero, the cool-headed Prince of Middenhall. Although he cannot use spells, he defeats his enemies with his brawn and skilled sword combat. The Prince of Canuck can be carefree, but is highly skilled in both swordplay and magic.
It is a pleasure to join your fellowship.
While the boys fight it out with their muscle, the Princess of Moonbrook focuses her strength with a more considered approach and magical abilities. A newly playable character takes your party up to 4. Sister of the Prince of Canuck, this princess supports with magic and swift attacks, crucial in battle.
It is as I always say, age is no excuse to laze.
Each character plays a vital role in your strategic battle tactics, so make sure you have them readily equipped for the fight. As your party grows, so do your options in battle. Each character's unique abilities and skills makes combat more expansive than ever before. As you explore further, you will meet familiar monsters that you recognize from Dragon Quest III, as well as a whole host of new monsters to defeat and conquer. Every new environment brings stronger and ghastlier brutes, and more difficult quest objectives. But don't be deterred. Discover unknown lands where grisly creatures rule, and only the hardy venture.
We are victorious!
There are more improvements across both games. Sigils originally only appeared in Dragon Quest II, but now can be found in both games, advancing the story as well as aiding in combat. Scrolls also appear in both games, whereby abilities and spells are learnt by using an item rather than leveling up. Traveling around the epic landscapes of each game has been made easy with map markers, a mini-map, and autosaves. In addition to the variety of languages for text, you can also choose to play with English or Japanese voiceover.
Oh, いやー、探しましたよ、ローレシア王子。
To help you progress, quality-of-life features, such as the ability to change battle speed and auto-battling have been added. The rich orchestral soundtrack for each game by the Tokyo Metropolitan Orchestra completes an epic and unmissable package. All that stands between the forces of evil and their wicked ambitions are the heroes of Erdrick's lineage. The time has come for you to go on an adventure of discovery and honor their ancestors' legacy. Dragon Quest I and II HD 2D